Let's get to your audience questions. Very, very popular segment. So many emails about it every single week. We have 3 questions from the audience that we answer at the end of the Friday show. We will get right into it. Bun wrote to me, have you ever been the victim of violence? Have you ever been beat up, robbed, or raped? And how does your answer affect your opinion about self-defense? Okay, this is an interesting question. So first and foremost, I've not been the victim of violence. When I was a kid, I was in a couple of fights. To say I was the victim of violence does not seem like the appropriate way to put that. I have not been robbed and I have not been raped. And in those fights, I wasn't beaten up. So I guess in the sense that this question is asking, Lewis, I think the answer for me is no.
Okay. I have been the victim of violence, but I've also been, when I was younger, I guess I had been the assailant multiple times. But
so you're talking about kid fights.
Kid fights, yeah. But yeah, I have been the victim of violence too, because yeah, that's happened, and it's not like I've never been like shot or stabbed, or I've never been robbed or raped. So I guess I would say I've never been the victim of extreme violence. Could we say that?
Yeah, certainly. And so then the second part of the question is interesting. How does your answer affect your opinion about self-defense? So I'm thinking of guns in terms of self-defense, right? I have a view of guns that I believe is based on the facts and studies I look at. Guns in the home are disproportionately likely to be used against you rather than successfully in self-defense. Would my view be different? Would I say it's worth risking if I had been the victim of violence in my life to have the gun in my home? Maybe so, right? I mean, I think the question is very, very interesting. It's hard to really quantify how you're, in other words, you have the perspective you have because of who you are. And it's hard to definitively say how the perspective would be different had your background been different. Had I been raped at some point, I'm sure that my views on self-defense would be different than they are, although I can't say exactly how. If I were a woman in New York City, there's no doubt that my considerations when I say, okay, I'm going to go home by myself late at night on the subway, I'm sure that my view would be completely different if I were a woman rather than a man in New York City, right? So I can kind of speculate about how my views are affected by my specific situation.
What is my opinion on self-defense? I don't know. I think it's, yes, self-defense is necessary. Oftentimes, self-defense is necessary. And I don't think it's a problem at all that if someone is even threatening you with violence, or, is highly aggressive or tries to rob or rape you, that, yeah, beating the hell out of them is perfectly legitimate.
It's so funny because, Lewis, you decided to go in a slightly different direction than I thought, or at least that I went in. Yes, no, but so let me say, I think if you're being attacked, defending yourself is absolutely legitimate. So I didn't think that I even had to clarify that. But
no,
yeah.
I mean, some people are total pacifists and think that it should never come to that. But I am here to tell you that sometimes it is necessary.
All right, let's open it up to the audience. How are your personal experiences connected with your views on the concept of self-defense broadly? And if you want to address gun ownership within that, I would be interested in hearing that as well.